Now the election back and I'll die away. In short, this is what I have to say. Let us forget fights and grudges and concentrate. Come, let us sit and try to relate. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us go hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, let us build a nation together. Oh, yeah. Oh.
I must say, blessed good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, family and friends. Blessed good afternoon, blessed good afternoon. I want to say a special good afternoon to my UNC family. I'm saying a special good afternoon to my coalition family. I must send out some love to the Honorable Member of Parliament, our Minister, Mr. Ernesto Raymond Keys. I just sending out some love to Trinidad and Tobago, some love to my Prime Minister, some love to you, 648 family. As you come up, I just want to encourage you to share the live, ladies and gentlemen. YouTube, big up yourself. Facebook, big up yourself. Wherever you are, big up yourself, ladies and gentlemen. All you know, we had to talk today.
And production.
We must talk today.
A strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us go hand in hand.
Ladies and gentlemen, I must say that I have some good news. Yesterday's conversation, how we started yesterday's program, I must say that the conversation went well. I must send out some love to Satush Agro Shop. Must send out some love to Satush. I had to send out some love to our next brother. I must send out some love to we family, ladies and gentlemen.
Troubles may come, but I'm a praying soul. Devil that try, but he does not.
Yesterday afternoon, I came to you with a conversation concerning our family. And brothers and sisters, I must say, we have people who reach out. I still have to go and collect some item from a sister who reached out. And then I went this morning and pick up some Pampers, get a little resources to buy a little grocery. I must say that the brother gives some support, but we had to get some more Pampers. And because I'm trying to go with a little 10-pack of Pampers, 10-pack of wipes, and grocery products. Because let me tell you something, all you would be amazed with where this conversation is. Well, last night on the phone, the relevant persons reached out, and this morning, they went and they checked the family. Now, at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I must say that God is good all the time. Again, we don't have to come and talk over and condemn nobody who, wherever it is the conversation take place. I just come to thank Trinidad and Tobago and those of you who couldn't reach because you're praying, those of you who sit back and say, but if I really had paper, I really would have liked to support that family. I'm saying thank you very much. Those of you who just didn't have the time, thank you very much, and just be loyal supporters, because this thing is not being done just with physical thing, you know. It's prayers, it's fasting. Brothers and sisters, is actually staying together and having a relevant conversation is what have this going forward. So watch me. I'm telling all you, as soon as this thing settles, we go into that family and watch me, we're doing a proper conversation with the son. We go get to highlight the mother in a positive aspect, because this thing is actually about uplifting brothers and sisters. So while we at it, my responsibility is to also always highlight those who have no problem giving support. So this afternoon, I'll let brothers and sisters know, especially those of you who in the Point Fortin area, and you're dealing with your little fowl, you're dealing that you're going into gardening and these type of things. I didn't ask the owner to do this, but brothers and sisters is one of the people who reach out to make sure that this family, Felix, you got to carry up some Pampers for them people. I hear you talk about grocery. We ain't no big shot, but you hold this here, you will carry up some grocery for them people and them. So I saying to Atish, lover, I don't know the name of the Agro shop, but everybody know Atish in Point Fortin. So I saying thank you very much to that family, to his wife, saying big up to the business. And I want to encourage point forth, and if it is you happen to be passing through and you're looking to find your feed for your fowl, you're looking to get a shovel, a fork, a rake, stop by Atish, give Atish that support. Atish and them is not sitting back and listening to the conversation and making excuses. The reality is all businesses, everybody under their own strain. But you see the people who you have to respect. You see the man who have no problem praying for you. The man or the woman who have no problem reaching out to you for support, because prayers is just as important as financial support. So the fact that we still have people in this country who have no problem despite what, we go cut and we go contrive, because we understood what happened to us over the past 10 years is something that we can't take back. We can't continue complaining about it. But we must understand what actually took place. We must understand the level of laziness, the level of shortcoming, and the facts is the level of corruption. Some might be displeased with us for having the relevant conversation, but the facts is the facts. Trinidad and Tobago have to move on, and we must move on with right and relevant conversation. And those who continue to play tricks, those who continue to promote racial division, our responsibility is to weed it out. So to my 648 family today, so to Trinidad and Tobago today, ladies and gentlemen, as I come up, let's share the live.
Troubles may come, but I'm a praying soul. Devil that try, but he does never learn. So much on my mind, if I tell you, just look at me smile. When them do me wrong, I do them right. I'm just a man who does pray. How I live how I look how I feel. No problem. If you see me jumping up to this ceiling, and them high.
People don't understand Trinidad and Tobago. A lot of people sit back and they hold on to racial conversation because of shortcoming and things, yes, things that was not done to uplift communities. And the fact is, if we are to do one fraction of evolving as a people, well, then we must come to terms with the position that we are in, the circumstances, and the position that we find ourselves in, and where we are to navigate as a people. Trinidad and Tobago, ladies and gentlemen, those of you in the Caribbean, those of you looking in from the outside, is your boy Irvin. This is the next episode of Real Talk, where we come to have real conversation with real people, because we deal with real issues. Again, it's nothing but love, nothing but respect. When we speak, the relevant authorities, if you hear this, is no disrespect, but this is just about moving forward as a people. So as we continue to discuss, as we continue to support our Honorable Prime Minister, we support the coalition, we endorse the TPP, we support the TPP. Trinidad and Tobago, we will have relevant conversation. Today we're talking about ID.
Troubles may come.
Today we're talking about the structure that is being put in place when it comes to the national identification card.
So much on my mind, if I tell you.
Today we will talk a little bit. We will thank God for the family that we highlighted yesterday morning. And I'm still saying, ladies and gentlemen, we could still do it a little more support, because when it comes to the structure of the place, it have a group of people attack that. They say, Irvin, you don't worry about that. We go pass and check them today, drop off where we could drop off. So I have a little 2-3 days to compile something properly to go and drop for them. Because if the structure getting taken care of, well, then we responsibility is to just bring a little comfort to the brothers and sisters. And this is what we're saying. To that young fella, our responsibility is to bring encouragement to him. He made the right decision. Stay with your mother, brother. We supporting you full 100. Full 100. The fact that he's not practicing laziness, he's not complaining. And the fact that you hear the cry and you understand exactly what took place. Because it cannot be that I can't get help because I don't have a deed. That is the overall argument. I cannot get help because I don't have a deed. And it makes no sense to me. If my mother down and out, and the conversation is that we're living off of this alone, but thank God to the public by. This is why I tell brothers and sisters, Trinidad and Tobago are real love. It's unity we have to utilize to navigate going forward.
Troubles may come, but I'm a praying soul.
Sorry to say it, have a lot of brothers and sisters who look like me that endorse a particular conversation in this country that cause division. But the fact remains is that we had to get over it.
Smile when them do me right.
It's not being vexed, you know, because we vex with my brothers and sisters who is of East Indian descent to entertain the conversation. But we saw what took place. We saw the blames that tried to be pointed. We understand. We understand it. So we're going forward as a people, we're going forward as a unit, and we're going forward together. Good afternoon, caller.
Hello.
Bless, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Felix.
Good afternoon. How you do?
I'm calling from New York.
New York in the building. Bless afternoon, New York.
Yeah. Good afternoon, sir, from Queens, Jamaica.
Yes, man. How you do? Talk to us. What's on
Yes,
your mind?
blessing. I listen to your report, brother. I listen to you every day.
Thank you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the support.
I used to live in Vance River and Point.
All right. All right. So you're from down south. You're from down by
Yes.
the man.
Yeah, I used to live there, and then I have family up in Captiville.
Yeah.
And then from there, I moved back to San Fernando.
Okay.
From freaking San Fernando, I moved back to Gran Chimeruga. So my blood has always feel for Point. I love up there.
You is a real Trinbagonian citizen. That is what going on with you. You're a real Trinidadian.
Yes, sir, man. Blessings. Keep up the great work, brother.
Thank you.
I love your show, man. Keep up you had to blast them nasty PNM, brother.
Thank you. Thank you much, caller.
Yeah, man, I'm disgusted at them people, man.
Yes. Yes.
But, brother, yeah, man. Your topic too. I want to throw something in real quick.
Yeah,
The West Indies suck, man. All the Clive Lloyd and that board, man, they're horrible, brother.
Caller.
No, man, come on, man. We get cut off in 1995 with Australia. 532 runs all out. Licks.
Caller, today conversation.
And it's still,
You go see what the direction today conversation going. Today conversation have a lot to do.
All right, so I'll go watch it later because right now I'm at work, but I will keep listening.
All right, thank you much. Thank you.
But I just wanted to give you blessings and respect, brother. Keep up the great work.
Thank you much, and you be safe out there.
All right.
Blessing over you and your family.
Thank you. All right, I'll call back later. All right.
All right. All right. Bless good afternoon again, ladies and gentlemen. Bless good afternoon, 648-868 family. I want to say a blessed good afternoon to Trinidad and Tobago, just Irvin, Buenos Aires, and the Caracas. You know where you go? All over the place. Tobago, you big up yourself. Our brothers and sisters in Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, Staten Island. My mother down in Georgia, my stepfather. You recover yourself as fast as possible. To my sister, to my little niece. I want to send out love, support, endorsement, God's prayer, God's covering over our brothers and sisters, those mourning loss, those who lost family and loved ones along the way, those who continue to stay focused and understand that we have a responsibility to be upstanding, God-fearing citizen. And that don't mean that you have to be all churchy with all that uppity-up thing, because we're holding on to the facts of what we actually dealing with. So our responsibility is to uplift, encourage, and endorse every spiritual denomination. So we're asking God to put the unction in brothers and sisters who have the spiritual responsibility in Trinidad and Tobago, give them the unction to function. So before we go forward, ladies and gentlemen, before we have any form of conversation, we must ask the Father to take charge of the conversation. Heavenly Father, is your son Irvin. Father, I want to lift up each and every person represented here this afternoon. Father, I ask that you cover, you guide, and you protect their going outs and their coming ins. Father, you cover the businessman. Father, you cover those who actually work in taxis. Cover those who out there. Father, we just ask that you just take charge of Trinidad and Tobago. You cover marriages, cover relationships. Father, you cover our brothers and sisters going out and their coming in. Father, we say a special prayer for our citizens outside of Trinidad and Tobago. Today, we pray that governments on the outside continue to find favor in our citizens. Lord, we ask that you guide and you protect, you order the steps of our governing authority. We lift up Miss Kamala Prasad Bissessa before you. Father, we ask that you just encamp your angels around our offices, around our home, around every single decision that is being made. Father, you cover each and every person representing under her today, Lord. Father, I pray that every decision that is made continue to be made on the citizens. Father, we even say a special prayer for the opposition today. Father, I pray that good sense prevail. I pray that your spirit soften minds and hearts for Trinidad and Tobago find itself in a position. So, Father, we pray that your spirit of unity fluctuate through our nation. We pray a spirit of love fluctuate through our nation. Father, our national words is every creed and race finds an equal place. So, Lord, you cover each and every household, every marriage, every business, every relationship, every child in this nation. Father, I say you have your way. Use 648 channel. Use us as an instrument in your house. Father, we say less of us and more of you today. So, Lord, we thank you for each and every supporter, every viewer. We even lift up the family of yesterday, and we thank every person that reached out to bring support. Those who was even there today, Father, we ask that you order their steps, cover their going outs and their coming ins, Lord. And Father, we pray for all those who would be helping and supporting going along the way. Despite our governing authority find itself in a position, we had to go to court to get back to work. Father, we ask for a swift outcome. So you have your way. Take charge of this channel. Take charge of every person that will be typing, every house, representing every family that is endorsing. And we thank you for all that you have done. Father, we thank you for covering my lovely wife and my children. Thank you for covering us along the way with the conversation. And as we say, less of us. So we say, have your way. Have your way in every religion, in the Hindu religion, the Baptist, Jehovah's Witness, Muslim, every religion throughout our nation, Rasta, Ethiopian Orthodox, 7 Days Adventist, and the list goes on. Father, you have your way in Trinidad and Tobago. In no other name but Jesus' name, amen and amen. Blessed good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, family and friends. Blessed good afternoon. I must say yesterday afternoon when we started this, before I go forward, I must say I apologize for being late, but don't worry, we're going to run over the time. Those of you who could stay with us, we go discuss. We started the conversation with a family who reached out for the relevant support. Something that affected me with the conversation is CNC3 does do a wonderful job of highlighting stories, but not a wonderful job of supporting those who actually find themselves in the position. Again, I don't want to take today to elaborate on that. Today is to actually bring some big up to the Satish family, bring some big up to Mr. Oh God, he will call him just now. He will call him just now because he reached out to me and he gave me the assurance, Mr. Felix, this is the conversation. Will you get this video? And then all last night we was on the phone because he tell me he reaching out to the relevant persons. And then today he called me while he was on the spot. So again, just as I told all them, my responsibility, let me get some things to the people and I would assess it. But it so happened that other people already assess it and are given the assurance that the best thing will be done to bring some remedy to this situation. So Felix, you could start to move on with the story. And I'm still watching the situation, but you could start to move on to the next case. My thing is, I just trying to close off my vibes. Then we get a little 10 case of Pampers. Large is it, so if you feel to buy the Pampers and you want to call me to get it, and wipes, we could do with some wipes. We're trying to top them up because it's a young fella and an elderly mother. And the heights is the length of time that this case has been open and the level of disrespectful conversation that this young boy have to explain to you. Now, mind me, he's not telling you that the governing authority didn't check him, you know. He's not telling you that people didn't bring support. He was very thankful. So to everybody who helped out in the before, but how he spoke to me, but I find it ironic that those who actually have financial support, CNC3 cannot tell none of us that they don't have resources. So this is why this afternoon I had to call out Satish Agusha. I had to say thank you very much to his family. I had to say thank you very much to my sister Hillary in Hollywood. She reached out, she said, Irvin, listen to me, swing by me, I have something because we support these vibes. This is not the first time Hillary reaching out to Hillary. Big out yourself. Big up yourself, sister. Miss Hillary, I must say. But that is a big woman to me. That is actually my mother friend. But ladies and gentlemen, today we have to have a conversation. And today's conversation, we must be real and reasonable with the topic.
Facing a relentless wave of...
Part of the conversation is, blessed day, blessed day, blessed day. Part of the conversation in Trinidad and Tobago that tend to be bringing about a negative aspect, because brothers and sisters is using this as a negative aspect towards the United National Congress and the coalition with the endorsement of the TPP. So my responsibility is to release the relevant content to you, and you will do the assessment on where this conversation go based on me giving my two cents after this. Now, our responsibility is always to hold on to the facts, the position that we as Trinbagonian brothers and sisters find ourselves in. Now, we all have the relevant information that the past administration, we will try our best to not call these people and them logo, because this is it's like promoting devilry. So we will try to not to call the former administration's logo. We could just say former administration for now. The former administration was left with the task, because the leader of the former administration, that was the head of the National Security Council. Now, despite what conversation you could have in Trinidad and Tobago, someone might come to you and tell you that you're African and you have no reason to be supporting the UNC, because the UNC, Ms. Kamala, is a Hindu. And this is a conversation, honestly, God, I'm telling you the gospel truth in Trinidad and Tobago, no matter where you live in, a conversation that people seriously having in Trinidad and Tobago to persuade people to not support good governance is that the UNC leader, Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissessar, she's a Hindu. And the fact that she's a Hindu, you have no reason, especially if it is you come from African descent, you have no reason to support Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissessar. Now, again, you will get 2-3 idiots with that. And then the heights with it is, my responsibility is just to hold on to the facts. If even self what you saying have any form of merit, and I decide to hold on to my African roots, everybody can explain to you where African come from. And one of the strongest African religion in Trinidad and Tobago is what religion? Not the Baptist? Okay. And if it is you want to be realistic with how the Baptists practice their religion, but then you have no reason to be discussing Hindu brothers and sisters, because if you take a serious look into it, you would notice how close these two religions factually are. So then the merit of that conversation makes no sense. Blessed afternoon, everyone. So the merit of that conversation to promote racialism, which has been used over the years, it makes no sense. So to start with, telling me that I, as an African in Trinidad and Tobago, have no reason to have an Indian Prime Minister, and why did I support she? And on top of that, she is a Hindu. If you look spiritually and you want to hold on to those who promote the African roots, which is the Baptist religion, those who actually had the problem to get to worship in Trinidad and Tobago, Baptist religion. Again, if you look close into the religion, you will understand how close the religion is. So any African person, instead of just listening to some of these PNM demons, when I get the opportunity, just look into what it is I'm saying. If what I say not making sense, it have adults up here. It have big Baptist people, it have Hindu people up here, it have Christian up here. So if what I'm saying makes no sense to you, they will tell you that it's garbage that I'm talking. So I'm asking you while I am speaking, because the listeners, the viewers, is big people. At that time I was supporting thing, and trust me, Pearl Sammy, what's the last thing there? She didn't hesitate to let me know Felix on stupidness. So this is as real as this platform is. We supporting the relevant conversation today. We know for a fact, for sure, we have the confidence in our governing authority based on what and how they representing us. I don't have to be a UNC mite. I don't have to be an Indian to endorse good governance. Basic common sense, just being a Trinbagonian citizen and wanting better for your country and understanding the facts. The facts is the highest murder rate that has ever been displayed in this country under anybody who was the leader of this country, under any party, is the PNM, is the former administration. And they wasn't so good with crime. This is why I'm telling brothers and sisters, all they need to talk to all the children. They wasn't just good with crime. They set a structure to break the record with crime. This is facts. This is no sugarcoat conversation. This is facts. The people of Trinidad and Tobago, not just the East Indian, not just the Chinese man, the people of Trinidad and Tobago cried out to the head of the National Security Council, which happens to be the only prime minister in the history of Trinidad and Tobago that abandoned his job. The people cried out. Too much murder, we're losing too much sons. I'm telling you today I will tell you my business. I have a little cousin today in jail for murder. You see that same little cousin before he end up in jail for murder? He was a Trinidad and Tobago national football player. He ended up in an accident. Come out of the accident alive, thank God for Jesus. And there is no structure in place for families. Notice I saying families. Because if your child underage, you have to say families. And you as a parent, since your child is 7 years, the child tell you he want football. Your government leave you with no option. So you want to dig in your pocket. And again, Trima used to help because you could go by your auntie, uncle and borrow a little money. You go swing by the parliament, you go borrow a little money. But at the end of the day, making sure that your child get the opportunity to go the relevant training. Because if you don't go the relevant training, you can't make the national team. So you must make the adequate training. And with the adequate training, there's transportation from Point Fortin to Port of Spain. And my little cousin ended up in an accident. There's no excuse that he gets himself tied up in a murder. There's no excuse. But the fact remains is, when from small, his conversation, since he's small going to primary school, Kenwin Jones is a Trinidad and Tobago national football player. I don't know if Kenwin Jones is his family. I don't know for sure. Because me and him is family, or for the Felix side. So his conversation always is, Kenwin Jones is the greatest football player. He label. Now mind me, he watching all football globally. And he used to play good football, but his idol was Kenwin Jones. And his surname happened to be Jones. So his life, his whole structure was designed around football. And while traveling to and from training, he ended up in an accident. The problem when he ended up with, his mother ended up with all the bills. His mother working security. So while we go run up a medical bill and we go have to pay the people them the money, football done for he. So guess where he end up? He end up on the streets. Me ain't gonna lie to tell you. I out there, so I was listening to the conversation. I used to talk to him. But if you don't have the relevant resources to attract people, this is what going on with me. I tell always me and my family. And ever so often, a brother or a sister will reach out and say, hola. But we don't have the structure of finance to say, well, we could hire somebody like that young boy who living with his mother there. With the relevant support, we could hire him because he's willing to work from home and his social media. And this is what we just do. So he have a value to do something for me while the live going on. He could share it. He could endorse it. It have people who reaching out. He could compile, just like how it is here, any relevant support and the relevant attention. We could use him to have a database, which leads to today's conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, I want all to listen to this. And I want all to tell me, while we up here, because we're talking, he abandoned his job laughing all the way to the bank. And that is so true. That is so true. This is what makes us as Trinidadian citizens look foolish. And if it is we don't have the relevant conversation, Trinidad and Tobago, we're going to end up losing out. So taking this conversation here again, remember, we are full.
The government is also considering a sweeping new policy that would require all citizens to carry a form of identification at all times. The move is part of a broader aggressive strategy to enforce proposed new age restrictions on alcohol, marijuana, and gambling, and to bolster the nation's fight against crime. Here's more.
The proposal comes as the country contends with one of the region's highest homicide rates. The government plans to raise the legal age for alcohol consumption to 21 and for marijuana use and gambling to 25. Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander says a mandatory ID policy is a practical necessity for police to enforce these laws on the street.
So some persons must work with some form of ID in order for the police to ascertain your age and your address. It's something that we're looking at.
This initiative is a component of a much larger overhaul of the country's security apparatus. The minister emphasized that modernizing the police service with technology is critical to disrupting gang activity and reducing public fear.
One of the things I would have learned while I was there is how important technology, that role technology plays in this fight against crime. Because Jamaica, they had some of the best technology.
The planned technological leap is ambitious, aiming to phase out antiquated methods entirely. This includes equipping police vehicles with real-time data access, deploying body cameras, and eliminating paper-based reporting.
The police officer going out on a report should not have a desk diary in his hands. Those days have come and gone, and probably the last regime have left us behind.
By linking the mandatory ID proposal to a comprehensive technological upgrade and tougher laws, the government is signaling a fundamental shift in its approach to law and order, betting that modernization and stricter enforcement can turn the tide on crime. Jewel Green George for Tobago Updates Television News.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, family and friends, this is where we come to work. So here is the conversation in Trinidad and Tobago from some of the citizens. It don't make no sense that we mandatory have to move with our ID. Now, my conversation to that is the only reason why you would come up with a foolish conversation like that in 2025 is because you have something to hide. Now, my responsibility is us to hold on to the facts. And the fact is, there is a crime problem in Trinidad and Tobago. Years ago, when I came back and I actually took a look at actually what taken place when it comes to crime in Trinidad and Tobago, I totally understand why Mr. Alexander continued to explain we cannot speak too much. I understand why. Now, my responsibility is to tell you what I think. Thank you. What I think is going to happen. While I am at it, I would give my suggestion in what I saw, and I believe that it could help. So if this is part of the idea, well then, brothers and sisters, we're in good hands. I must say again, bless good afternoon. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is with basic common sense in Trinidad and Tobago. Over the years, despite the fact that employment has been a major problem in the country, somebody give the young people of Trinidad and Tobago an idea that the way out, the way to mind your family, the way to go forward is to target the businessman. Target the people who they believe have big house. Now, what it is, brothers and sisters, forget to understand along the way, is that you're seeing people along the way, some of them are big house, but you wasn't there for the journey when the house started small. But we're going to rest that conversation, lead that for another day. Let me just stick it on businessman. Somebody told the people of Trinidad and Tobago that the way to success, the way to a proper livelihood is by robbing the businessman. So here in Trinidad and Tobago, the norm, the conversation over the years, the gas station man can't catch himself, the grocery man can't catch himself. I don't care who own it. If you is not the owner, you have no reason to be up in the people's business with a firearm, explaining to them, hand over everything. It is not yours. If it is, I have my business. Now mind me, ladies and gentlemen, no matter how the citizens cried out to the former administration, no matter how people cried out, don't bounce your head and tell nobody is a contractor. If there's a contractor, please do not have your license because you're ending up slumped over your steering wheel. For some strange reason, and this is a statistic that Trinidadian citizens we never paid attention to. You know how many parents lost their sons who is just basic contractors, was just doing basic things. But for some strange reason, all the criminals who have guns know what them fellas and them was doing. For some strange reason, all the fellas and them who have guns and ammunition had enough sense to wait in front of the bank for people that had enough sense to wait in front of your business place for you. They don't care if it is your generation was poor. They don't care how much loan you take. For some strange reason, everybody business end up in the public domain. I don't know if Trinidad and Tobago was paying attention to that. But again, we're talking about ID card. So here it is. Listen what is a major problem in Trinidad and Tobago. It don't make no sense, and I spoke about this some years ago. So the fact that Mr. Alexander continued to stay quiet, something telling me something is going to be installed, and a lot of those persons who continue to play politically biased, the children go end up tied up in them. Something telling me we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, is going to have to come back on TV, come back on social media, and beg Mr. Alexander and Mr. Sturge to be easy on some of these people's children, you know. Because to me, I don't understand. This is basic logic, basic common sense. You living in Trinidad and Tobago, let me just use a statistic. We live in down Cedros. I, Irvin Felix, living down in Cedros. Now, I is a well-known petty thief down in Cedros. Well-known. But it so happened that, you know how it go? When election time reach, I might be able to round up 10 or 15 people. That might be valuable to somebody. So over the period of time, I end up getting the reputation of a well-known petty thief. Some compromises take place for the words like well-known, he's a history bandit. Somebody compromised along the way for these persons to get an opportunity. Because all of us at some point in time, well, I shouldn't say all, some of us at some point of time has been before the court. I went before the court with evidence, with my child mother, leave my child with a man who's selling weed, handing weed to people, and I lost that case. So if some compromises take place along the way, my argument is, me am wasting time to point out Mr. John Jeremy, Mr. Padarat, and them had that under control. We the people, we have to move forward, but we can't move forward without having the relevant conversation. So we go with what the former administration is endorsing. It don't make no sense. The supporters telling us it don't make no sense. But again, God forbid, I, Irvin Felix, is a petty thief down in Cedros. People can't see the way. The neighborhood can't catch themselves. But here it is. Here it is. My cousin in Sawa. Holidays now start. Holidays now start. I 16 going on 17. I exam next year. Holidays now start. Come up Sawa, boy. Let me spend some time. Now down in Cedros, where I from? Or down in Point 14, where I from? The police know is a petty thief. If you stop and you ask anybody, they could tell you that person there, that is a petty thief. You know who don't know that is a petty thief? The cousin that they're visiting in Sawa, the cousin might know that that is a petty thief. But you see the cousin neighbor, you see the police in Sawa, you see everybody in Sawa, them don't know that this young man that live, or the young man that visiting our neighborhood, they don't know that that is a petty thief. Now mind me, activities going on. We in Sawa, we spending a week. All of a sudden, things start to miss in Sawa, because this is things that just happen on a weekly basis in Trinidad. you have an idea that since these persons move in, a lot of suspicious activities taking place. But the problem you end up with now is that there is no way to identify, to start with, where that person come from. The second thing, you can't identify because himself the police stop that person. Trinidad and Tobago do not have an efficient database for the police to represent or execute their tasks efficiently. That is basic common sense. And I spoke about this some years ago. So now, in order to have a proper database, there are things that you must install, because it makes no sense installing a database. This is just me. I am not telling you this is the direction that the government is going. But I am saying this is a logical conversation. And if you're looking to install a database, I would start with installing, making it mandatory to work with your ID card. Because listen what is going on. It have people who could look out the window this morning. They could tell you that the person who walking by the house, I don't know that person. This is like the 5th time this young boy passed. And he keep watching inside of a place. That is enough information for the police to show up and ask for identification. That is enough information. Once the person call in, give a full description. The person wearing a blue jeans, a yellow jersey, he have on a gray hat. And this is the 5th time he passed in front of my premises. And on top of that, I don't know this person. You know why? Because the person come from Cedros. And right now they're visiting the cousin in Sawa. When the police do pull up now, right now there is no structure to say that you have to have your identification card on you. So when the police pull up now, the name that is given, because remember, nothing had happened yet, but you are suspicious with the activities that is taking place in your community, and on top of that, you don't know that person. So when the police pull up now, and the police ask for an identification, no. Where's your name, young boy? Because this is the authority the police have right now, and any one of us could testify to that. When the police pull up today, let us ask you, what is your name? And when the police pull up now, and your name is Dexter George, but you really is Dexter George from Dong Cedros. The information in the database done by the Cedros police station is that Dexter George is a well-known thief. Well-known thief. But all of a sudden, his cousin in the neighborhood, the cousin staying, there's an upswing in petty theft. But there is no way to tie the crime scene. There is no suspect. You know why? Because of lack of the structure of having a national identification card, so that when the police, the officers that we hire to keep us safe, we must give them the authority. If you call in and you say suspicious activity in your community, the only thing the police could do is show up and ask, what is your name? And that gives the person who is literally up to thieving the opportunity to give the police a fake name, because there is no law in place asking for your ID. If there is a law in place asking for your ID, then the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago is showing that they're willing to support the curbing of crime. Anybody who sit back and debate that is showing you that they're contented with young people walking through your neighborhood, being unidentified, and even the police happen to be there, is until that person actually commit the crime, then you have a problem. But what I am saying is, if there is the law in place for your identification card, and while the law isn't, this is what our governing authority is putting in place. And picture what I'm telling you. The law in place that the police has the authority, especially if I, Irvin, call and I say that there's suspicious activities in my community. It have young men that I know, but this person that I'm seeing passing in front of my house, this is the 5th time and they keep looking in. So officers, I don't know if it is a look at pass through and just take a look. Ain't nobody getting me tied up with when you call the police, it's no vehicle. That was in former governments. That was in former governments. The governing authority I have is fully aware. Bless, good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I am okay. And yourself? Talk to us.
Well, I reached back home.
Talk to
Mr.
me.
Freeport, boy.
You want to talk a little bit about that Freeport? Because I was just telling them, I just could not remember the name Freeport. But I was just telling them about the case.
Okay.
About the young boy. You ain't about to call no name yet. I tell them when we combine it.
No.
But I was telling them that you reach out and we was talking infrastructure. So I don't know if you want to explain it to the viewers, please. Because it's some good news.
The biggest immediate family.
Report the internet dropping.
Yeah, the immediate family giving him the most problem.
Yeah.
You know, they have a camera that show inside that boy living room.
Serious?
That to show you how wicked these people is, boy.
They have a camera hook up inside of the people's living room.
It hook up and show the focus in the people living room.
That is the same case we dealing with here.
Why went today?
So who put the camera in the collar? I mean, Freeport.
The neighbor.
The neighbor?
Yeah.
And who instructed the neighbor to put the camera there?
Well, they put it on their premises, but they focus it to see what they want to see. And that is immediate family, you know, blood family, brother. And they always have some negative thing to go wrong by the MP office or by the councillor office or anybody they know willing to help them people. Some negative thing to say about that boy there.
Caller. Freeport.
Yeah.
What you trying to tell me? It have people in the community who helped make sure this family didn't get no help?
Yes.
Trinidad and Tobago, let's see what I'm telling all you. If that don't fall on that devilry, you tell me, you know. You tell me, you know,
Just imagine.
I run that audio for you yesterday.
Just imagine this boy have to leave his job and stay home to look after his sick mother. And both of them have to live on $3,500 a month. And social welfare is telling them that is enough. They can't give, well, the boy ain't qualified for nothing. They can't give the...
How could social welfare under the PNM explain to that is two persons, the boy and his mother, that $3,500 is enough? And yet still, the PNM just had a big argument fighting for $86,000 for one man, mate. How could 35?
Yes.
The logic behind it makes no sense.
But, you know, and these PNM supporters, thank God, the sensible one turned their back. But the one that not so educated, still supporting this kind of thing, you know.
Now that's what we talking today. That's what I tell brothers and sisters, we had to talk national ID card today. Because you cannot tell me that my government is wrong for implementing having an ID on your well. Who is you use a law? Lord, you use Billy the Kid or? You living in Trinidad and Tobago.
What's going on? Anywhere them fellas and them people go, anywhere except Trinidad, they have to have some ID on them. But as the government talk about ID, all of them have a problem. All of them have a problem.
You see, when the whole heights and you get accustomed to being around people who spending money. Hello? Oh God.
Yeah, listening.
Oh God. Caller, you got to call. Hello?
Hello, baby.
Bless God.
Yeah, this was time caller, man. I'm just speaking in your program. I always watch heavy MTC, man.
Yes, man. Bless God. Afternoon, first time caller. How you doing?
I'm cool, man. You're all going on, man.
Doctor.
You was on the ID to move the ID, right?
Yeah.
Now, on Twitter, following both Well, most likely 20 people in that picture, so they will decide the things to spend it for them. He say, so if you take a bicycle and ride around the savannah, the police could stop you. If you go hiking, the police could stop you, and that's why he say, is the worst thing you ever see is this government in China. He said this government is draconian and most wicked government you see in the Western Hemisphere.
Caller, hold on. Just hold 1 second if you remember. What did this Imbert say that if he jump on a bicycle and he riding around?
Yeah, the police could stop you. You understand?
The police would stop you or they could stop you.
Right. And if you go hiking, the police could stop you. And the police could stop you.
Well, caller,
you understand?
I want to take this moment here. If that is how Mr. Imbert feel today in Trinidad and Tobago, I want to take this opportunity to thank the police service of Trinidad and Tobago because Mr. Imbert is one of the most corrupt minister of finance that the country has ever seen. So the fact that his conscience is dealing with him, we thank them. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, brother, that is always back here. And you see, and you also to stand for that because that's what you're saying before the election.
Yes, man.
And if you all that educate people to let people see the light of what is ready to want to that.
Yes,
because
man.
It's still have people under this red bag. They're walking on the head.
Yeah.
They're not walking with the head up and they put down. Where they put supposed to be, that's where the head is.
Yeah.
You understand? And it is good to see how this country that I'm 66 years old. I'm a pensioner. I'm 66 years old. And I'm telling you honestly, brother, or let's keep doing the good work. I tell you, you see the same thing.
Yes, man.
Keep educating the people. Stay down on the ground. Don't move from on the ground.
No.
Stay on the ground and keep educating the people.
Yes.
Let this wicked government stay out of power for the next 20 years.
Yes,
there's something really wrong with them. Look at the people in secret. All the things in secret. All this amount of racket running in this. This is why they're coming out now and want to do this and do that and the other. It's only racket. Minister, for the contract for X amount of $1 million. Come now, man. All these things are complicated. You understand? All these things are complicated.
Yes.
So you stay doing the good job and doing the good work, and may God bless you always. My name is for me, name on here, the MPC Big Brother.
Yes,
right?
man.
Loving you.
Thank you much, Big Brother. Thanks for the support, the encouragement, and the endorsement. And blessed afternoon to you and your family, man.
Loving the house.
Loving the house.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, I must thank each and every one of you. Those of you who are reaching out, I must thank those who commented on YouTube. I must thank you all very much for your continuous love and support. But as I was saying, brothers and sisters, we have to be real and reasonable when it comes to this national identification card problem. In a lot of cases, when you look at some of the activities that are taking place. Bless good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon, brother. How are you doing, bro?
Bless good afternoon. How you doing? How you doing, man?
Good, man. I'm good. Listen, how much people in this country have a cell phone, Irvin?
Nearly everybody.
And they just walk around the place with a cell phone?
Yeah.
So why they can't walk around with an ID card?
But we're not bothering with them because they're cocoa in the sun. They don't want the police
And
ask them because
right?
the name just might be on a CPEP contract that they wasn't authorized to. Probably.
Well, you see, this measure would aid and abet the police, you know, because too much people walking around there is criminals, and the police would pick up on some of them.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
Some of them have charges, some of them wanted for different things. And when they run a background check on them, they will catch them.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's what they're afraid the cocoa in the sun they have.
Yes.
But I will advise people, if you don't want to work with the ID card, take a screenshot of the front and back of your ID card and put it on your cell phone and walk around with that too.
Come on, man.
So in case the police stop you, you just show them that. So what them saying, boy, when them go outside from this country in America and England, them place, they had to show their ID, they had to walk with the rules of that country. They just don't want to do what is right for this country. What kind of lawlessness happening here, you know?
Caller, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago is being set up by the former administration and their supporters. The reason for it is we have to be real and reasonable. A man who living in Point Fortin this afternoon, if he's a well-known robber or probably a rapist, he is a legal person in Port of Spain today. And if it is the police don't have the authority to ask for your ID, and we don't put a structural database in place like how America have it, America database, one it is AFIS. If we don't have a database in place, well, then we will continue to lose as a people. And we ask this government to help us with crime. And their responsibility is to put the relevant structure in place. So you can tell me that you use a PNM. You can tell me that this government implementing things to help curb crime, because that falls under the structure helping to curb crime. The police officers, if there is suspicious activities taking place anywhere, they must have the authority to ask for your ID. They must.
And all of these cars, these police cars, have become fully computerized. So when you see a guy man on the just in your computer, you got in.
Yes. Caller, you're breaking up. You got to call back, caller. Bless good afternoon, caller. Bless good afternoon, caller. Bless good afternoon, caller.
Good day, brother. Good afternoon, brother. How are you doing?
What going on? What going on, Papa? What going on with you?
I there now. So it's good about and do some work in the gardens.
All right. All right. Yes,
but I have to after the conversation, right? Now, long ago, I used to you always hear about the mark of the beast and the freedom of technology, right?
Yeah.
So when technology started to change, because you look at it as the mark of the beast, and then after you see with technology, you start certain rights, especially after that, right?
Yeah.
But then after I started to think about it, if you have a phone, and now if you even have a smart TV in your house, your privacy and your is gone.
It's gone.
Without you knowing, unknowingly, and your smart TV as well, what you codes that allows it.
Caller, you're real breaking up. You're breaking up. Hang up and call back, caller. I think you should hang up and call back because you're breaking up. So caller will call back just now. So ladies and gentlemen, as we say in this conversation here, this is people trying to set up the people at Trinidad and Tobago. Now mind me, we could say what it is we want. We could display and argue anything that we want. The fact is, no matter how much murders it had on a weekend, Monday morning, the police officers used to be out and about. Bless good afternoon, caller.
Yeah, again.
Yeah, hearing you loud and clear.
So you hear me now?
Yeah, loud.
You hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So this thing about privacy that we have a phobia for is no longer a thing, because everything that we have on us is tracked. So when people are afraid to walk around with an ID card because they're afraid of the privacy, that is ridiculous, because you're tracked anyway with your phone and all this. We need to understand that the way the country is going, that we need to put measures that are going to make some of us uncomfortable in order to. We have to come to this reality, because
true.
And outside, he know when he come in to rob you. You don't know.
No, you don't know.
He already have guns. He have guns.
Yeah.
You don't have guns.
Yeah.
So they are always at the advantage, and we are always at the disadvantage. I was in China. China right now, technology is so high that you pay for something with your palm. You could enter the subway with facial recognition.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
All they do is sign up and They don't walk around with cash. Most of the time, they don't walk around with cash in China. It's a pay system with your phone and with your face and with your palm.
And handle your business and move on.
And handle your business and move on.
Yeah.
We have to start to get uncomfortable to be comfortable.
No, this is
so
the heights.
You have a blessed.
Thank you much, caller. Thanks for your contribution. Bless good afternoon, caller.
Yeah, just call back to the logic. I the guy the better who call it here.
Yes, man.
If right, I just join a friend. And when you go to the airport, you have to show a passport to go in.
Must?
You have to show. And if you go to the airport, you have to show a ID to go in.
Yes.
Right. So simple. If you're leaving from Carnage to go for a slave, and the police stop you along the way, you have to show ID. Because let me show you something. Years ago, I went away with on a t-shirt. Right? And when I pass through some country before I reach my hand. You know the gentleman tell me, customer tell me?
Yeah.
He say, one ID you have. You say, where is our next? You say, you have to have 2 ID. You cannot have 1. You have to have 2 because at the end of the day, they want to see the system. If you're from this country, from that, if you have a certain background.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's the right thing.
That's the right
and
thing.
I want to know. And why people questioning it? You understand? Because the same thing as you were saying, if a guy passing in the area and only looking in your house, you don't know he come next to me, he's a predator from down Cedars. He come over saying that he cousin. Nobody don't have no track on it. The same thing with Venezuela. Because plenty of them don't have no ID. They don't have no ID. So this year is a plus. This what the government doing here is a big plus. You understand?
Yes.
So at the end of the day, I just come to polish it up, man. But loving you outside.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you very much for the polishing up. And blessed afternoon to you and your family.
You too, man. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I could add to that and all. We could add to that and all. Blessed afternoon. How you doing, brother?
Felix, Orlando in the house.
How's you doing? How you doing?
Yeah, Orlando here. Felix, I don't understand why people making a fuss about the ID card. I really don't understand them people. You know, the people who making it fuss about the ID card is the people who never leave forestry and only beat them. Them is the people who never do fuss about ID card. They never leave beat them to go nowhere.
Thank you.
Anywhere you go in the part of the world, anywhere, you have to have an ID card on it. You go to buy liquor here, and I am 63 years old. I go to the liquor store, I have to show them my ID.
Yes.
That's the rule. You have to show them your ID by liquor. And I'm 63 years old, and I don't understand people. They are so dumb because you know what? It's PNM. It's PNM leaders that PNM plus it's putting crap in people's head.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Like also, they're putting a lot of garbage. They do four area beat them up and people's head and about that's the problem we have there. We get the problem. We need to let people know that them people don't care for you. They don't want for you. They want to vote so they can ride on your back.
Yeah.
That's the problem because anywhere you go, anywhere. Even when I work for these people, I have to have ID to work for there because they don't know. So anyhow, Felix, again, I send the message Orlando. We're going to listen to Felix. We talk later, man.
Yes, man. And thank you very much. And you stay focused and stay blessed out there. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the question, right? The question is, why? Why would that be a problem? Again, my responsibility is to come to work. And the only thing I could do is keep it real for you. This thing have nothing to do with actually the ID card. It's about the continuous conditioning of a people. Now, mind me, this is basic common sense. And I want to send this out, especially to my African brothers and sisters in Trinidad and Tobago that honestly believe that all you're having a logical conversation on social media. I want to bring this out to my PNM brothers and sisters that honestly believe all you're having a logical conversation on social media or on radio or on TV. My responsibility is to show all you the PNM education, all you like to boast about, how illiterate all your sounding. Now let me be real and reasonable. Your argument is that the UNC government, Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissessar, and everybody under, especially Mr. Alexander, because asking you to walk with your ID card is because just in case Mr. Alexander pull over and he asks you to see, because this is how we speak it. This is the conversation that we have. So we conducting it in Trinidad and Tobago that we don't have a crime problem. Now, one part of the aspect, and I want to bring this to Trinidad and Tobago, one part of the aspect that a percentage of the population would not understand. Now, you as an Indian man, you will have the relevant information to know that your uncle get robbed. You as an Indian man, you will have the relevant conversation to say that your aunt get robbed. You know, it's the predominant conversation in the African communities. That is not a normal conversation because Africans who doing business, they were being told that them is lick African. Any African that have any form of ambition, you would notice that they don't hang around the PNM. Everybody who make up their mind to be a pauper in this country, make up their mind to have nothing in this country, you would find them supporting the former administration, and that basic facts. So while you sitting back in your space and you wondering, how the hell these people arguing and saying and pulling an argument concerning ID card? Because they don't understand the value of looking through your window, seeing somebody who don't belong in the community, don't have no reason to be in the community. They don't understand the power that you have to give the police, that when you call and you say this person is suspiciously walking our community, the police must have the authority to ask for the ID. One, you know why they go argue it? 9 out of 10, that child just might be one of their children. And two, you know why they will argue it? You know why? Because Chikota them don't really own anything. They don't really own anything. So sitting back and you complaining about the structure being put in place so that the police get the authority to see people ID. They're looking at, now mind me, God bless them with a property, you know. God bless them with a place, you know. You know what God also blessed them with? They was around the PNM. And the PNM make them believe that their life is of no value. To the Africans and the East Indians that's still following the PNM in this country. By all that we understand, them people make all they feel like all their life don't have no value. By this is the reason why you will try to pull a logical conversation. Why you should not be a proud Trinbagonian citizen and walk with your national ID card, not for nobody, but for the facts that there is too much of crime. If you know you somebody who don't sexually assault people in the dark, then it's supposed to be no problem walking with your ID card. If you know that you somebody don't break into people's houses, it's supposed to be no problem walking with your national ID. If you happen to be somebody who know that the doors of opportunity have been closed for the longest, we're sitting with a new government and just one day, because despite all the corruption will take place in CPEP, all the rake, they make me rake for years. Somebody probably was watching that when was political talk, you was one of the person that wasn't a part of that. When it was time to bring the barrow, although your responsibility probably is something else, you was the person wasn't complaining. And somebody just might know somebody to say, hey, you know that person will make a good foreman. But here where you tie up in a conversation arguing to not walk with your national identification card. When your phone just might ring today or tomorrow. We have people who was working places and the companies closed down. If Shell can ride out when the former administration was in office and Shell ride back in when this current administration in office, it shows you that there is hope in this country. Chinese people don't line where they don't have no money. Syrian don't hang out where they don't have no money. So yes, the Syrian man doing business. Come on. The Chinese man doing business. Come on. We Indian brothers and sisters, them doing business. Come on. But not because when you look in the horizon, you're not seeing much African people doing business. That don't mean that the Indian man was against you. The only reason why he could uplift his community and do business, had to be minding his business. Don't let them bring no lyrics to you to tell you you don't have nothing because the Chinese man doing business. And you as an African have to sit down in the corner, blame the Indian. You don't blame the Indian man. Let me blame the Chinese man too because he has grocery all over the place. So here we are telling people, don't shop. You don't want to do business with the Indian man. You're telling me now, don't shop by the Chinese man. And when you come wrong me, somebody like Irvin Felix, and I'm telling you, brother, I'm willing to endorse your conversation, African to African. Which part of your groceries? You ain't no grocery. On to the next conversation. That is an unnecessary conversation. So the conversation is, the Chinese man have business because you, the African, ain't had nothing. Listen. The Syrian man doing his business. Been doing his business. Matter of fact, them are organization, them are people who lend them money, Chinese man, this Indian man and all. The only ethnicity in this country where their former representative, those who promote and claim African culture, the only group in this country that had the most poor representation. We as Africans sit back and watch the former administration and the logo take down Africans. Like facts. Today we're in the middle of a conversation. Listen how stupid the conversation not making sense. Under African leadership, African stewardship. I don't know where you live in, but I can tell you about me. My prime minister was African. My member of parliament was African. Watch me, it's so wet. My mayors, they were Africans. And put the icing on the cake. My counselor, African. And first I have it wet. Basic facts. Even my older man is African. All the persons with all the structure in place throughout the country, not one person in this country could make an excuse for the former administration. But even self you're racial. Even self you're 100% hate East Indian people, you hate Chinese, you hate everybody. You don't have an excuse for African leadership not putting structures in place for the African community. Don't find yourself being a fool on social media arguing to not walk with your ID. Any form of business you're going to do, any door opportunity that open for you, you need your ID. Don't let nobody catch you in no stupid conversation because they're scrambling for power. I keep telling all you every day, those people had the power, the pen. They had it. They had the power to bring legislations. They had the power to bring support. They're asking us to go against our Indian brothers and sisters. Those who came from the East today, there's West Indians. All are we Trinbagonians. We sit back and watch enough of them get robbed. Sit back and listen enough people bad talk and talk nasty things about the religion in this country. In 2025, it have to stop. It have to stop. Bless good afternoon, caller. Bless good afternoon, caller.
Hey, bless good afternoon, Mr. Felix. I love the conversation. Yes. I do good, man. And I love the conversation. And I love how you're going.
Yes, man.
You see, let me analyze it. Let me analyze it. Clear them from the beginning with Mr. Eric Williams, right? Father of the Nation. He promised them, I will take you out of pen. I will make you wealthy. That's the promise he gave them.
Yes.
But in reality, he made himself and few wealthy. And when the people start to get frontal, he throw little trinkets. You see, back in the day, people don't know what was governance.
Yeah.
And government is there for food, housing, schooling. That is the basic needs of
Yes.
favor. But the propaganda is that they did for them. So that's why up to now people say, I couldn't give my grandfather a house. And he give them this trinkets while the well goes to the few.
Yeah.
Many are called and few chosen. No. Right?
Yes.
With this thing that pass here, this is the narrative that they embed in children's head.
Yeah.
The PM gave us this way of living is what the PM give us.
Yeah.
That way you see the PM give us. What a gift. That's not a favor. And you know what they teach children on them?
Yeah.
The Indian and them thief to get wealthy. They be corrupted to get wealthy.
Thank you. Thank you. And when I tell people that is the depths, that is the doctrine they feed we. That is what they feed me. I'm still trying to understand. You didn't bring my quarter for me. You ain't set up nothing for me. And then you teach me with the next man, what you think the next man have.
But exactly, Mr. Felix, and that's the narrative now. Everything coming out from a PNM blind supporter. Look at them, the thief out the treasury, this thief.
Yeah.
They're behind in the court for thief. That is the narrative still from since the Eric Williams days till now. And they're not opening the eyes with vision. Many are called, few are chosen. Who are the wealth now? Who get any land? And I will always say, the honorable, and I will have respect for the office, Dr. Rowley, right?
Yeah.
Honorable Dr. Rowley, past Prime Minister. I will always have respect for the office.
Yeah.
He brought in a businessman here. Take land from Pantry Bego. Take it from your own people to give it to that man to do business. And they accept that.
Kola.
And they never that.
Thank you. No, I like what it is that we minding with business. When the doctrine being taught in Trinidad and Tobago, they will quicker tell you. The average African who playing games, they will tell you about our East Indian brothers and sisters business. They will give you a comprehensive breakdown about the religion. They wouldn't tell you about the shortcomings that they themselves practice. And it is sad.
And I know and two things before I go, because I know what I call us for Emancipation Day, they change the name and call it African Emancipation Day. But where is your ground? Where is your ground to have yearly activities? Where is your ground? The East Indian and them have, because I am mixed, so I can speak how I speak in here.
Yeah. Brother, this is the conversation in Trinidad and Tobago. I am not encouraging that. You are Indian, you call in and big up your culture. I'm not playing that. Over the years, when we East Indian brothers and sisters talk about the culture, automatic the racial. I want to know about it. We're trying to feel my wife in an Indian and she family, you feel me in an Indian answer. They block the Indian population in Trinidad and Tobago for educating the children, and that is wrong. The only how we're going to encourage our brothers and sisters to do the same. Come on. The people have to talk.
And the East Indians have the culture year round. They can have something year round. Where the emancipation, you call it African Emancipation Day, where is yours?
By the bar. We own by the bar.
That's what I'm saying. And the last thing, the PNM, the blind supporters, it had a meeting recently in Beaton, and a man come up and say, 30 years, PNM never come here and hold a meeting. And people won't rock back and say, you know, why is that? And question them. You know what they just want to hear? The Indian thief and the Indian thief. And all right, Mr. Felix, look on listening.
Thank you very much, caller.
Yeah, man.
And when I talk about it, people feeling as kicks I talking, the only how Trinidad and Tobago could go for. Let me tell you something. This is basic. It are things that affect me. I live in Point 14 is where I live in, and my responsibility is to mind my business. And what I am going to tell you here today is the truth. Oh God. Bless good afternoon, caller.
Good day, Mr. Felix.
Bless good afternoon, man. How you doing?
Yeah, hi there, boy. I'll explain your topic. You have a very good topic, but
talk to me.
Yeah, on your ID card there, right?
Yeah.
My age right now, I is 69.
For real.
There's a caller from me, alright?
Hey, me I big up yourself, but you don't tell me that, man. Me I big up yourself.
And a first time caller. I always listen to you. I listen to you on Iowa.
Yes, man.
And now you here, right?
Yes, thank you for the support, brother.
Now let me tell you something. You see that ID thing? I worked petrol for 41 years, brother.
All right.
And I had also walk. If right now I'm talking to you, my ID on me in my house.
One day.
You understand?
Yes.
My ID is in my house.
Sense.
So you see that whole talk, them fellas and them coming with it. They will fool who they want to fool.
Some of the people.
And Mr. Felix,
talk to me.
You, TC and Heavy, and the rest, or they just keep it going.
Yes, man. Thank you much, caller.
Keep it.
Yes, man.
One of these days I'll meet you at Horizon Point.
One of these days they're going to meet me at Point. Well, right when they don't get Point, call me now, man. You know,
yeah, I hear you call a name yesterday, a company, Hydrotech.
Yes. Come on, I want a Point company.
All right, well, I don't see by that fella.
Well, all right, Papa. Blessings, man.
Right.
When you come down the road, call me now, man.
I will find you. I'll find you.
Yes, man.
So you keep good and be safe, brother.
Thank you much,
and you're going to hear from me.
All right, thank you much.
Yeah, I listen to you every day, but
that is it. I say thank you very much because this thing is about
okay then, Mr. Felix. Yes, keep on with the program, man.
Yes, you have a blessed right. Day.
Yeah.
Bless good afternoon, caller. Bless afternoon, talk to me.
Yeah, well, I want to stay on the same road with you. That ID card situation, the only people who have to stay with that, the people who have a set of Spanish people who have a filling house and one kind of back and the country, that are illegal activities going on in these cheap countries in this country. Every people have a problem with that.
Yeah.
The two every country don't have no problem with that because having the idea here is very good and it is very good for illegal immigrants on the land.
Lovely.
That is the problem. Somebody and people because they encourage a whole bunch of people to come here and live here.
Yes.
You understand? And that will be have any problem and I want to applaud the government for doing that.
Yeah.
Make sure every place and every point the people place who don't have people higher ID card. Keep it close there.
Keep it close there. Thank you much, caller. And that is our contribution, ladies and gentlemen. The caller so right. Because we have to be real and reasonable. Nobody can come to trick we to sell us no dream. You enter in our country legally. You must be on our database. The police, especially the police service, they must be aware of what is going on. And listen to me, all you know I do like to have a conversation without having a balanced conversation. As much as I'm talking and I'm boasting and I'm depending on my police service, I hear properly what Mr. Alexander said, you know. So I endorse it for my police to get a proper vest. I endorse it for my police to get a proper camera. I want them to have adequate guns that could actually represent the same way. Let's good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon, Mr. Felix. Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago, and good afternoon to everybody in the live. Yes. Success in your house.
Success, big up yourself.
Mr. Felix, let me tell you something. Years ago, right? My brother went to Venezuela, right? Because we have family living in Indiana.
Yeah.
Right? In fact, my mother from there, from Caracas, Venezuela. And in Venezuela,
you have to have your ID card on you because when you walk in the streets, that boy, I don't know how them Spanish police and them does know, eh? But when sometimes they spot you, they say, cellular. And you had to put out your ID card and show them, you know, otherwise you're going in jail.
You're heading up in jail.
Understand? You're going in jail, you know, and your parents and them come and look, family come and look for you to bring you back out. My uncle Nelly spent a little time in jail over there too.
Caller, you know how I always have a story. Remember, I used to live in the United States of America. While we over there, you know, we have shitty argument because I live a particular life already. And me and lying to tell you, you want to play stupid? The police making sure and put Friday when they stop you, do I ID now? See if you spend the weekend. After the third weekend, you go see how easy a high ID on you.
This ID card conversation, these jokers and they want to have your insurance. Them had to be either going insane or something wrong with them, you know. That's a non-issue. Anyway, God bless you, my brother.
Thank you much,
okay, God bless.
Yes, man. And the caller say the right way, that is a non-issue, that is not a conversation. The fact remains is we cannot continue to have people walking in and out of our country, doing what they want in our country, walking through our communities. Because we as men, we had to leave our wives home. We had to go out to work. We had to leave our daughters home. We are trying to tell me we didn't have a problem with home invasion. And let us be real and reasonable. What could be done right now if even a suspicious person is moving to the neighborhood right now? When you call the police, is if you get a good police who have the unction to come out, because the police don't know when they come out, they think how much they could ask. Where's your name? My name is Frank Jeffrey, and he continue walking and going about the business. But if your name is Frank Jeffrey, I need your ID card. I ain't no ID officer. All for now, he could walk off and go about the business. But if we make it law, which it is our governing authority is doing, that means the government understand that a lot of people was unjustly robbed. Because there's no justification for robbing. A lot of people was robbed in this country. And if we want to give the police back some form of power, some form of authority, they must be able to ask, especially when a suspicious call come in. We must be able to give the police the authority. And as I was just telling you, as much as I'm pushing, and I want my police to come out, because some of them just diligently come out every single day and give you a fair day work. I'm not playing petty with you. I'm letting you know straight. I listened to former commissioner of police talk. They told you it's a problem to the police service. So our responsibility is to encourage our governing authority. Weed it out. Weed it out. Bless good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon, calling from Grandy.
Grandy, blessed day, man.
Right, so I listen to the topic there, but you see, the government had to do it in a proper way.
Right,
that it's a benefit from identifying the people on the spot to see if they are weed and them on the underage or they're drinking underage or gambling, all these sort of things.
Yeah.
But they should recall all the citizens' ID card and let them use the fingerprint too as well. So when you go for an ID card, not only a picture ID, you do a fingerprint as well. So on the system now, you have all that on a database. Yeah. So if anybody play crazy and they want to involve in crime and breaking car and thieves and it's easy to pick up on them. Now that is already in the law because disabled people who can't really write and things could get an ID card using fingerprint. Yeah. Older people who are, illiterate to say, who can't sign and them kind of thing, how to write the name. The ID card officers allow them to use the fingerprint as a form of identification.
Yeah.
So recalling all the ID cards and letting people take the picture plus fingerprint, that is the way they should go.
But Kola, let me just give a suggestion. The idea, real boss, right? But yeah, we can add to it because we having a conversation because we have to save $1 too because we don't know where the country is. So you see ID cards going forward, the ID card expire in this year throughout the period. So all ID cards going forward. You go ahead and you continue,
Right, so all ID cards going forward, yes.
Yeah.
Start to, use that as a form of database and to have picture and fingerprint.
Yeah.
Now, if they wanted to go a little further, they could have said they wanted, DNA on the ID card and them kind of thing, but create a lot of obstacles in terms of the law. People don't want to give out their DNA rights and so on, which I think I would do, because in identifying people in homicides and fits for crime and so on, I see it as a national security risk. So any form of identifying a citizen, they should take. But if they're going ahead with the ID card thing, start to implement fingerprint as well.
Yes.
Even with your license, even with your passport, all that.
Yeah.
And have a database. And I think it would work out well for the country in the long run.
Yeah. Because
so that is my contribution.
You see where some antics put up there, which is a good question. Caller, who paying for that? Because that will be expensive. So that will tell you going forward. So if they set the structure, we're not recalling nothing. If you think valid, when you do ready to, when it's time for you to renew, this is what we're going with.
Yes, and that's how it should be. But they have to do fingerprinting with our ID card as well. And put it on our database.
Yes, man.
I hope the minister, I know the minister is listening.
Yeah.
So I hope they take account to this.
Yes, man.
All right, take care.
Thank you much, caller. And again, ladies and gentlemen, in no form or no way we telling the governing authority what to do. What we just doing is putting our 2 cents, because as our government make laws and they pass laws, our responsibility is to have the constructive conversation and to show you how it would be valuable for us. And I see no loss in implementing walking with your ID card. I see no loss in it. Let's good afternoon, caller.
Yeah, good evening again, Mr. Felix. And let me add to that to make it even cost effective. Give everybody a barcode on the ID card.
Yeah.
So the police officer just have to use that. The same way you just go in the grocery and scan.
Yeah.
When they scan it, all the information pull up on the computer with whoever device they have in the hand. Even on the cell phone, they could have that.
Yes.
And it'll be more cost effective. All right, Mr. Felix.
Thank you much. And this is why I say, so brothers and sisters, it seems like we're on the same page. So our responsibility, you see those who have a negative conversation, you see those, we don't want to part because we don't need no supportive conversation from them. Why would you try to encourage the citizens to not be a part of positive legislation? Bless good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon, Mr. Felix.
Yes,
first time caller from the Londonville area, Shagwana.
Londonville, bless afternoon. Thank you very much for calling in, man.
Right. I look at your program every time you're on there. I make sure and look at your program. Wonderful work.
Thank you.
My little input is, the only people who will have problem with this ID card system that they want to implement would be people who have things to hide. Because as far as I can remember, I am 57 years old.
Right.
From whenever I can remember, I would always keep my ID card or my driver's license in my wallet wherever I go on the outside in public.
That's important.
Yes. So the people who would have the problem with this ID card system will be people who have things to hide. That is one.
Yes.
And just another input here. They need, I think it's about time the Venezuelans and them they need to be sent back to their homes.
Yes.
We had them out as much as we could,
yes,
but it is time we lighten up the country a bit. You understand?
Yes.
So that's my input. Great job and keep it up.
Thank you very much, caller.
All right.
Now again, for peace sake and for fairness sake, we're being real and reasonable, right? We have people in Trinidad and Tobago who outside of Trinidad and Tobago. But there are things and activities that took place in this country where we cannot just act like it did not take place. To the Spanish population, when you hear people say send back home, the Spanish is not no disrespect. But if you look at factually the upswing and the types of guns, we ain't blaming that on all you. But we're saying we have more. The amount of drugs, we have more. And then on top of that, there's activities where those, but that video with Spanish people with cutlass run down the police all in Princess Town. It are communities where people telling you they cannot walk comfortable in the communities because Spanish people reside in a particular house. And the fact that this is the conversation, me being somebody who was given the opportunity to go in a next man land, I understand the position that you find yourself in. But the problem with it is that if you practice activities, you must deal with the consequences. So this thing could be as simple as possible. The Spanish people who actually entertaining the thought of staying in Trinidad and Tobago legal? Well, then it's one out of two things. The Spanish people who practicing illegal activities, or they either take it to the authorities or their name stop call up, or the only thing the citizens could do is ask our governing authority to restrict all it, to remove all it from our country. And then the problem that a lot of people is getting tied up with, the government of Trinidad and Tobago, this UNC government, this coalition government, already clarified and identified to the citizens globally that they are working on behalf of the citizens. So if there is a structure that is causing mayhem or any form of uncomfort to any citizens, the government gave us the assurance that they will address it. So the fact that if the conversation is no ID card because Spanish people, Spanish girls who been... Bless, good afternoon, caller.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. First time caller.
First time caller, bless, good afternoon. How are you doing? Where are you calling from?
Arima.
Arima in the building. Talk to us, Arima.
Yes, brother. I would like to endorse what that chap just said a while ago about the fingerprint on ID card.
Yes.
But there's another thing I would like to say. So they could probably use it. Like, for instance, anybody with any kind of ailment, you have some kind of code to put on the ID card. So whenever you have to fall on the inside,
barcode,
you'll be identified. You'll be identified immediately. Yes. So there's no need to call anybody to find out what's going on with this person.
Yes.
We are told you always obviously have it at hand to say exactly what's going on with this person. Be treated right away.
Yes.
So what is medical something is? And then to get in touch with the family. So can you get in touch with the family to come and get things could go here with that person, medically.
Yes, man.
So that is just my contribution. You have some kind of bathroom where you're like taking a place to set it, or diabetic cases, you have a bathroom, so you have to come in place, you just start, and you know this is the
yes. And caller, that is so right. Thank you much, caller. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm now looking for there because somebody had just put up, I think it's Semantics had just put up a barcode. And that is so truthful. So there are things that we could put in place, things that we could endorse our government to implement so that we would be able to identify, especially the police, would be able to identify people in our community because house invasion is outrageous. So then you have no reason. Now, I keep telling only the only person who would sit back and pull an argument and make you believe that the governing authorities are against you for implementing mandatory identification is somebody who convinces you that what you have is of no value. Your life is of no value. People is a home invasion all over the place. Is it that you under the impression everything that you own is of no value because people breaking into people's houses, sexually assaulting people's family, and this is the conversation. So again, I keep saying it. The neighbor look through the window and see somebody scoping out somebody's house. The neighbor pick up the phone and they call the police. This is today, officer. I live in 12 Chagarin Road and I just watched through the window and it have a young boy here on his 5th pass. It have a next one in a car driving slow behind him down the 5th pass in front of my neighbor house. The fact remains is the police who taking that report in the station. No, when they reach there, the only thing they have to do is wait for them young people to commit a crime. And them same young people could have a record long time. But with without the right structure in place, we will end up in problems. Trinbagonian citizens, don't let them catch you in foolishness. It's they were the ones who told us Indian people had thing. Jump over people's fence, run up in their house and take their thing. And they convince you that what you have is of no value. They showed you no matter how high you reach in education, it is of no value. Look among yourselves, Trinbagonian citizens. Look among yourselves, whether you African, East Indian, whatever ethnicity. no matter the level of qualification, worse if you fit the description like myself. The PNM, I should say, the former administration made it abundantly clear there is no value for people like us. No Indian man and do we that. We children going to school with East Indian people. It are East Indian teachers, East Indian business owners, East Indian groceries. And when you go in this, you go by East Indian bar. When you go in these places, how come they ain't showing you bad face day? How come they ain't talking down on your day? When you go by Passad, your money, right? Right, no problem. You go to buy a vehicle, your money, right? You're traveling, your money, right? Everything you're going to buy a fridge, your money, right? Every single thing, when you making a move, and we need to logically think about the conversation and the foolishness that we are part of. Why would you come to me to try to encourage me to not walk with my identification card? And you think now that would get me to support you, to my brothers and sisters, it's time all they wake up. You know where they don't want all to follow? I go show you this. We go listen to this. This is what it is they don't want all to follow. They're sitting down and they're talking a whole set of conversation. But they don't want all to follow the facts. They don't want all to follow the truth. They don't want all to be real and reasonable. Every shortcoming that the African community have, it continues to be blamed on UNC. It continues to be blamed on the people. And it is so disrespectful and degrading that the majority of the... How come CPEP end up being all Africans? Only we're not waking up by... Think about what I'm telling you. When you're going to make grocery, the man who owns the grocery, the cashier, they're collecting your money, you're going to buy your glasses. These people not disrespecting you. Nobody saying you wouldn't fall out with somebody along the way. You might get a bad drive. We living in communities. But this conversation that the East Indian man like them is the enemy, and the fact that our prime minister is an Indian, despite the fact that she is the person spearheading the UNC, she is the person have the responsibility. Our responsibility is to not endorse implementing identification card. The Minister of Homeland Security is Alexander. Forget he being African. Just focus on Ms. Kamala. Well, okay, let me politically and racially biased. But any person, any government implementing, have your ID card on you. That person could never be against you. That is your safety. Too much of our elderly brothers and sisters factually lost their life. Bless good afternoon, caller.
I wanted to explain why the fingerprint with the ID card makes sense to all your listeners. Is that plenty people, for some reason, might forget genuinely the ID card.
Yes.
And some who on criminal activities will obviously never have it on them.
Yes.
But you see, when you have them place the fingerprint into any device, because now we're living in modern times, you can read that fingerprint within a split second because you have that technology already at homes, at banks, and so on. Where even at your home, with your own safe, you put in your fingerprint and it will scan. On your phone, you have it as well. So there is the technology available. All right. So when you pick up on somebody, they don't have a picture ID. That shouldn't be an issue. I mean, you can't tattoo a barcode onto anybody's skin.
Yeah.
Or any sort of thing like that. But the fingerprint will work. It does have technology to support it.
Yes.
And it is the best option we have going forward. So putting a barcode on an ID card, the only difference between that and the serial number on the ID card is just you'll be able to access data faster than just typing digits. So it really, you don't want to. You understand?
Yeah.
Unless you just want to speed up things by a second or two.
Yeah.
But the fingerprint, along with the picture ID, that is the all.
Well, all right, Papa.
So now your listeners will be able to understand better why.
Yes, man. Thank you much.
Take it.
And I see the artist comment up on the screen here. This comment is so important, Mr. Felix. but the ID card is not only beneficial for the age law. When a man get bounced down or someone faint on the street, it is easier to identify the individual. That makes sense. So that is the next reason why you should have your ID on you. But again, having your ID on you, and that would make somebody who have compassion help you. And the structure of the former administration is never about helping each other. It's never about unifying as a people. It's never about staying together as a people. It's a selfish structure. This is why they will encourage. Don't work with your ID. And all of that is to break this. I say, bless good afternoon to Mr. Clyde Elder. Bless good afternoon to my UNC family. Bless good afternoon to my coalition team. Bless good afternoon to TPP. But I want to listen to this before we come off of this thing here.
All right, Minister, I can't have somebody from the government who is very steeped in labor talking to us this morning and not ask the question about the CPEP workers. How are you dealing with that? I mean, this is public utilities as well, isn't it?
Yes, CPEP is like the Ministry of Public Utilities. But I want to say that my line minister, Minister Parado, had a press conference yesterday. He have dealt with that extensively. He have answered the questions extensively on that, and I want to leave it at this point in time.
But have you been involved in any discussions about it?
In terms of what? In terms of the...
Have you been in...
Before it happened, in terms of the issues now, in terms of what?
The issue now.
Yeah, people facing,
yes.
Unemployment at this time.
Have you been involved in any of the discussions related to the CPEP workers?
Well, I've been involved in a number of discussions, but as I said, the minister would have made his pronouncement from the ministry's perspective, and I will not want to add or take away anything from what he said yesterday.
But even as a labor person, Mr. Elder, I mean, we've covered you for a number of years with represent workers.
That must be troubling to you as well. I mean, internally.
You see, Dale, at the end of the day, right? What was taking place in CPEP is nothing short of mind-boggling, and I mean, it was wanton corruption taking place, and it has to be fixed. Now, we are aware that there are workers who are impacted and affected by the decision that we have taken. We are aware of that, and it's not to say that we have turned our eye or turned our backs to the workers, not at all, right? We are asking the workers in this instance to have a little patience with us. We're going to ensure that they do get something in the shortest possible time, but we need to treat with that corruption as taking place in CPEP, because I can tell you that I am personally aware, I know for sure, of PNM councillors who have CPEP contracts while being a council member in the same borough that they're working in. So if that is not corruption, you tell me what is. And that is just one instance that I know about personally. And I can tell you that you have seen many of the accusations on Facebook. Some of them are in fact accurate. I will not call any names, but those things have to be treated and we treat with that. And in treating with that, there are going to be some fallout in the interim, in the beginning, but we're going to treat this fallout as far as the workers are concerned. So even though I'm from the labor movement, yes, even though I will be the first to jump up and say, look, you're affecting workers, yes, but I also am saying to the workers that we have not turned a blind eye on you. We still and we will always have a labor agenda, and we're going to see about the workers, and we're saying to the workers, give us time to deal with this corruption. How could you, in all good consciousness, terminate contracts that are going to end 3 or 4 months after the election? Terminate it early, and then give persons 3 years contract 2 days before election. If that is not wrong, you tell me what is. So those things have been treated with, and those things were done only to satisfy persons who had their PNM agenda. I make no apologies for saying that. And they are done in a corrupt and the most disgusting way. And that has to be treated with. So we make no apologies treating with it, but the workers, I know they are affected. We ask them to bear with us a little bit, have a little patience. We're going to see about them. We're going to see what all the workers, because they're not the one involved in the corruption, by the way.
Of course not.
Unfortunately, at this point in time, unfortunately, because of what we had to do, they have become now collateral damage, but we are going to see about them. We're going to take care of them as best as we can. We're just saying to them, have a little strain and girl sometime.
Minister, thank you very much for your responses.
Thanks, Mr. Elder.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, brothers and sisters, we're talking about the ID, right? The people who in the middle of the ID being disrespectful. The ID only disrespectful because UNC come up with the conversation with the endorsement of the coalition and TPP. And we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, that we have to curb crime. So we must implement things to curb crime. The age of smoking marijuana, raise. Alcohol, we raising all them things. So when we bounce you up acting the fool out there, we are 100% sure that he is an adult. So you will face the full extent of the law. Let's start with. Let's good afternoon, caller.
Well, you see what the minister was just saying there? Then misrepresent what the man was saying, right? And just take one word what the man say, collateral damage.
Hold on.
I send a clip for you.
All right.
I send a clip for you. With two people talking there. And they go hear what one man has to say about that.
Yeah, but I'm going back on that because I'm here, but I'm with them and I'm studying with what my minister say. Hold on, I'm dealing with that. I finished with that.
This is what I'm trying to tell you, people, they're nitpicking at things, brother.
No, don't
and
bother
they're
with
taking
them.
certain things and things like that.
Don't bother with me. Remember, we come to work. We working today.
When you're working, that is the propaganda. I tell you, remember what Marvin say?
Yes, man.
They run the propaganda on social media, and that is how they're doing the business now.
This is how
nitpicking and propaganda in it.
So then my responsibility is to stick to the facts. So let me get to the facts here now. Let me talk now, man. Right?
Yeah.
All right, brother. So, brothers and sisters, let me deal with this conversation at CPEP. My minister just spoke. Now, everybody know my minister come from labor. His responsibility is to continue to fight for labor. So here it is. While my minister continued to explain about CPEP and we discuss about the corruption in CPEP, part of the conversation is that CPEP contracts, there was not up, but yet still somebody utilized the power and the authority to renew CPEP contracts. Now, if you, just like me, could clarify to anybody living anywhere in the world that the former prime minister who was installed not by the people, not even by the PNM members, not even by the PNM executive, not even by one PNM party group, they had a prime minister that represent no political organization, he represent no political group. Because while he was the prime minister, the PNM also had a separate political leader. So he never run the PNM. This is Stuart Young I'm talking about. And on that Stuart Young pretending to be a prime minister, CPEP was able to renew contracts. Don't mind me. My responsibility is to keep it real with you. Just as I now run the information coming from our ministers, my responsibility is to bring you the conversation coming from the CPEP board. So mind me, I don't know if it is you're seeing this here, ladies and gentlemen. This is today's Express. Listen what today's Express showing Trinidad and Tobago. So my responsibility is to head to page 3. We are going to go through the whole thing, but we must find out what really going on here. CPEP board misled. So then what it is we said, if with the word misled come in, so then we could confirm that something wrong took place with CPEP contractors receiving contracts. Okay. Now remember, nobody fired the CPEP workers. The contractors was dismissed, seeing that there is no structure to pay the workers yet, or to actually the workers can work underneath. The workers are home. So let me get to work. New twist in CPEP legal battle. Headline. New twist in CPEP legal battle. Now here what CPEP is explaining to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and I need a little share this to the CPEP workers, because this argument have nothing to do with them. The position of Trinidad and Tobago, not just you, the former CPEP worker or the CPEP worker. The problem that we find ourselves in, that there was corruption taking place right under all your nose. What is dangerous is what the people of Trinidad and Tobago is being asked to ignore. Mr. Barry Padarat, Mr. John Jeremy, Miss Khadija Amin, and the list goes on. Mr. Clyde Ella, even Mr. Raymond Onesto Kiza. every single person that we hired to represent us in a respectful, in a transparent, and in an efficient way have already spoken about CPEP and corruption. So then we are to go to work to find out what really going on. So here what really going on. Ongoing legal matter involving community-based environmental protection and enhancement program has taken a new twist, with the attorney representing the state enterprise urging that the following board of directors was deceived. Listen to the key word. They were deceived, ladies and gentlemen, into believing that cabinet had approved extension for over 300 contracts. This is the conversation today. This is the information that CPEP board is bringing out today. So again, the evidence is showing that we cannot blame the UNC. The evidence also shows that you cannot blame CPEP board. So then who you wholly and solely blaming? You have to use your common sense, you know. If we hire people in our administration, Mr. Khadija Amin is local government. Mr. Clyde Elder fall under. Come on. Come on. Mr. Edward Alexander fall under. Come on. Roger Alexander fall under. Come on. Mr. Kiza fall under. Come on. So everybody talking is talking in context. Bless good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon again, report. I'm listening to the discussion that's going on. Everybody have a problem with walking with an ID card.
Yes.
But just now they might say they don't want to walk with a passport and a driving permit too.
Because of the police and we asking me for a permit. I'm trying to go Sando with the hell. You pull me over on the highway to ask me for my driver's permit. You're going mad or what? Like it's a UNC or what?
Because,
now we go hear them arguments.
Because if you could get robbed and lost your ID card, what it have protecting your driving permit and your passport?
Come on, man. So then it's like we arguing to go backwards.
I support this ID card on you 100%.
Yes. Thank you, Cole.
Because it had too much a wrong thing going on in this country now.
Yes, yes.
And as a caller, I hear you say it. If the police stop you from Point 14, I live in Marabella.
Yeah.
22 Southern Main Road, and that is it.
Yeah, he's a well-known thief. You don't sexually assault 4 or 5 people, but the police don't know. Because they don't have the authority for ID and we don't have a relevant data, up-to-date database. If you understand what I'm saying?
And what I find strange, and I'm trying to understand, and I can't understand it. When PNA was in government, they could have made any kind of law, and nobody had a problem.
Yeah.
They live with everything, every single thing.
Yes.
You know, Ms. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, take away 63 offenses from the demerited point.
Yeah.
She only left 6 critical ones. And you know these people still have a problem with that? Watch people in this country making a living by driving, brother.
Yes.
By driving.
Yes.
And in some cases, the way some of these license officers move, like they is the law on themselves.
Yeah.
They could give you 2 tickets and write you off.
Yeah.
Because you can't control what they're charging you for. They could charge you for anything.
True.
And make you feel that you guilty of everything.
Yeah. And it's when you reach in front of the magistrate, you have to clarify your thing.
Simple. And if you don't have money to pay your ticket, you can't pay insurance, you can't renew your driving permit.
Yeah.
Why this must be so? Why the laws that they're making is so harsh
And
that
then,
people.
and then my thing is, if you this is the difference with governance. Why make a whole loud conversation about if I don't pay my ticket? Why not come up with conversation to encourage me to pay my ticket? Because we evolving as a people. You cannot. This is what the PNM did. The former administration did. They just looked for the worst in everybody, and women was not spared. The worst in everybody, and people in this country still under the impression that living poor is the way to live. How could you pull an argument to discuss not walking with a Trin-Begonian national ID card? Well, how ashamed are you of your country?
And this man, they call it in both.
Yeah.
But every time I see that man, I just build up a pressure. That man used to be happy when he do something for the people to see trouble.
Wickedness, yeah. Wickedness.
And you know he going to church. He going to church now. I wonder what he go tell the Lord, boy.
Nah, I want him go to church. I was telling earlier, I need a 2 terms from a United National Congress and the coalition. I need a 2 terms for TPP. Because what is starting right now with Mr. John Jeremy will have to continue. We, the people, ask for laws to be implemented. We ask for the weeding out of corruption. So those who did corruption and publicly believe that they could continue living happily ever after. Amen. No. People cried out after COVID-19. This is why I'm telling people in this country, if after COVID-19, you still hitting your wife, something at wrong with your head, you get an opportunity to start over. And if you're dealing with a problem, reach out for the help. Is we have to be better people?
Well, if you can better yourself, who will better it for you?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And you know, it still have people on Facebook and they hear what they're saying. The UNC bringing out corruption, but they ain't charging nobody.
Yes, man. Because we government.
PNM didn't bring out no corruption, but even self, you have something in writing about corruption practices. You have to make sure what you're doing. You don't want to do like the PNM, charge Brent Thomas and have to pay more big money.
Caller, the PNM government is not running this, This is what going on here. It's not a show thing, a shopping. This is what going on here, Mr. Alexander already clarified. The police and them have to be equipped safely. We must think about the safety. After the safety, then Mr. Alexander could come out and start to apply pressure on the police force. And listen to me.
Right.
I am telling you straight as a citizen. I'm telling you as a citizen too. Straight. It have certain jobs in this country. The amount of billions of dollars that was wasted by former government. As soon as this government get its foot on the ground, I want to increase some of police. I need to increase some of nurses. I want to increase some of public servants and them. This is what I'm encouraging my government to do. Take the resources and spend it back on the people of Trinidad and Tobago. We could circulate our money and evolve as a people.
But I don't know what's wrong with these people and them.
Nah.
They get licks. They get licks so much that they still want licks. They still want licks. You suffering all this time. Just all you have to do is to hold a little string.
Yeah.
Let this new set of people put things in place, and your life would change.
Yes.
And everybody talking about Alexander can talk, Alexander can make a speech. We don't want the man to talk. We don't want the man to make no speech. We want the man to do the blasted job properly. That's all we want.
That's all we want.
Yes. Forget. Is it dumb? If it's dumb and he can't say nothing, do the job.
Right. That is what we want. We good with that?
And I don't care. I don't care what they say.
I tell them that they ain't you to coming wrong. They have a problem with everybody. Have a problem. That them and the business because just the other day when Rowley was the leader, they couldn't speak. They were mute. So they come to we now to have all this conversation.
As Kamala Prasad Bisasa appoint John Jeremy, is all kind of name they start to call him, man.
Yes.
All kind of name.
And wait. Don't leave out. Don't leave out. Because when you say it's all kind of name, they start to call the man, you're going to make people around the world feel Indian people was involved in that. Tell them the truth. It's African people will come out calling the man stupid and dotish. It's African people chain up Paris and them to call the man stupid and dotish. You have to clarify so African people understand what took place in this country. That is
Faris and all who call him man stupid.
Thank you.
And dotish. Them more dotish than the man.
Yeah. Thank you. And this is what we're saying. Those of us who stands as African, and we did not endorse that nastiness, because we know Mr. John Jeremy have the education, we know that he's a representative, and we know that he came from the PNM, and he have no problem telling you he came from there. But one thing he also spoke that we also respect is that he cannot stand up and be a part of corruption. So the fact that he was given the opportunity, or he is given the opportunity today under the UNC government, under the lead Kamala Prasad Bisasa, SC. Ladies and gentlemen, I respect it. We continue to pray for Mr. John Jeremy as much as we pray for the Prime Minister. Caller, thank you very much for your contribution.
Just imagine, for 10 years, they couldn't find no oil, no gas. As the UNC get in power, they start to find gas. And they find a big mistake that Cho Chong make with $7 billion. So that alone to show you how duncy head is. And a foreign company have to show the new energy minister the mistake.
No, let me tell you something. That new company don't know. The lion don't play. So before he pick up on it, and he come out bossing and talking real dread, them don't know that. So the smarter thing to do, better call them in here. Here's that way. We pick up on our mistake, yes, if you can sort out it. Them don't know that. Them sit down and bad talk Mr. Munilal for years. This is why I just tell them, I don't want to hear a conversation, especially anybody from the PNM, to tell me anything about EMBD. Mr. Munilal sat back for 10 years. 10 years they had the power, the pen. He didn't go nowhere. He ain't duck and hide. He represented the people. While Trinidad was calling him corrupt, they were calling him all kind of nasty names. He represented the people. God have a way he does work. God have a way he does work. So Mr. Munilal himself will help us dig out some of them corrupt activities that took place in this country.
Simple.
God know. Let me tell you something, partners.
Up.
Let me tell you something. God know why he make Miss Kamala Prasad Bisasa put Mr. John Jeremy there. You see, let me tell you something. It's in your mind right now, the person who holding that position and bringing out and supporting the level of corruption that took place, and them telling you they're going behind it. By now, the conversation would not be John Jeremy or the person, if it was an Indian person there, it would not be that person was stripping his. You know what that be? It would have been an all-out blunt race war. They would have tell PNM supporters, Indian people targeting Africans. So don't get tied up with Miss Kamala Prasad Bisasa. That what take place there? That is something very serious. And brother, I've seen it. I've seen it. Something telling me, some of them ain't gonna get their dead with me money. I've seen it. I've seen it.
Oh God.
I've seen it.
Look, in URP, the money that they spend, they could only give account for $2 million. Where the rest gone?
Where the money gone? Where the money gone? You know what's stupid with that call? And you know the problem where we don't realize we get yourself in? We down in Point Fortin, when we went and voted for Mr. Ernesto Raymond Kiza, and the people who vote for Miss Journaline John, when Separia went out and voted for Miss Kamala or Toko Manzilina Toko vote for Stoja and them fellas and them. The people who came out and vote for Mr. Lakram Budu and thing. When we went and vote April 28th, yes, we vote for them to dig out corruption, but we actually vote for them to run the country. You know, right now the country basically shut down. You know, the only reason why it looking like things moving is because UNC have skillful lawyers and we have skillful people representing us. You know, think about what telling you, caller. UNC had to go into a serious plight to the population to let them know that the boards, we cannot get the boards to handle all their business. You know, UNC right now is arguing on behalf of the people. When UNC conversation taking place, when you hear UNC mention CPEP, when you hear CPEP board mention CPEP, it's we them representing, you know. It's we them representing, and they getting tied up with the conversation. PNM representing PNM and PNM supporters. The CPEP board and the government of Trinidad and Tobago is representing the people of Trinidad and Tobago. They're not representing UNC, and they getting tied up with that. All they getting lost and complacent with that. That is what they're making all they believe. The government of Trinidad and Tobago have everyone interest at hand. The song wasn't sung for dotishness. When UNC win, everybody win. But here it is. None of all ain't getting to skip the line in front of we. What you telling me? You feel we ain't see people who are suffering? You feel we ain't see what going down see just or? You feel we ain't hear what going in Caroni? You feel we ain't hear what going in Saparia or?
The only people here nothing is the PNM people and them.
Thank you.
And you know what I did, I think about 2 or 3 days after election, on the ground report, I thank all the African people who see the good in this Kamala Prasad, Bisesa, and the UNC.
Yes, man.
And I tell them, if not for them, UNC could have never win election. And thank God they believe. Thank God they believe.
And let me tell you something, caller. You feel all our we who is African. We didn't bother to sit back and listen to all them African who try to tell me about we is lick African, you know. We sit back and focus on the fact that we want the opportunity so that our children could be educated properly. We live in today.
Simple.
We understand the position Trinidad and Tobago is in today. We know the difference between governance. We saw
the fight
for us.
Look, all of them talking about the Children Life Fund. Did you see the young little boy who graduated and want to thank Kamala for that Children Life Fund?
Come on now, boy. Come on now, Papa. Come on now. And they getting... Now, let me tell you something, caller. The only problem that I personally ended up with is that it have people in the African population who are being convinced. Because every time you speak against these things, you under the impression that your child can't make it there. And why would you think so? Yes, we know that your community was neglected. But again, your community was neglected probably because our African leaders left us that way. And I am not being a hypocrite way feel. While I'm speaking here, I feel we do high Indian place to uplift. But even Miss Kamala first term, she saw when you make a covenant with your people. But we're telling me you pass through Penal, you pass through Saparia, you pass through DB, them place for proper drainage. The farmers need an opportunity, some structure need to be put in place. Other than that, the people, plenty of them people was given an opportunity to be a part. And this is what we're talking about. This is what a government is supposed to do. Give society a part of developing their country.
Simple.
Simple.
And that boy who want to thank Miss Kamala Prasad, he was suffering with his heart, you know.
Come on, man.
He used to collapse. And I think the mother said the body used to turn blue.
You see?
And that boy get a chance through the Children Life Fund. And he get a chance to study, and he study hard, and he make it to the top. And it have people saying, we don't need the children hospital. I tell them, you know, I say, when you hear you go San Fernando or Cuba, because I never had the cause really to go Mount Hope or Spain.
Yeah.
And you sitting down there for 10 and 12 and 15 hours.
Yeah.
and you see little children have to go through the same thing you're going through. And yet have big educated men saying, we don't need that. It have place in San Fernando and Mount Hope.
Yes.
It have place in San Fernando and Mount Hope, and still the little children have to perish just like big people.
True.
How that could be right?
How that could be right? For real. Kola?
I don't know, boy. Yes.
Kola, I want to thank you for your contribution. It doesn't happen past 2
Yeah,
already.
don't worry. No. All right. Any day, hear what? Before you go, any day you're coming to go by that boy, call me. I would pick you up on the Freeport fly, on the Prisa and the Caxande flyover, because you can't drop off on the Macaulay flyover. You have to walk down and all kind of thing.
I will be driving up. But
Oh, all right. No problem. No problem.
I want to go there Friday. So this is why I'm giving it that 2 days, because if you could go and leave them with a proper load, that will be very, very nice.
Yes.
Right?
And somebody, a friend from America, promised to send me something for them.
Well, all right.
So
going there, and I will
see what, right?
Yes, man.
And if when you're coming up Friday, we get in touch, I would take you around and show you how PNM leave this country, what PNM do to this country that we had.
Call if I carry by Point Fortin West, I feel nothing to beat back that to this. Point Fortin West Secondary School. If you see what PNM, the condition they live there, and that way they used to come and keep the meeting and pointing. They encourage PNM people that living in poverty, living in heinousness is the right thing to do.
Yeah. You know what, I would challenge you. I ain't saying I will win you, but I would challenge you. And you shot a ball, you shot to hold your head and ball.
You're saying you're feeling worse than?
Yes, because I will show you proper road. Well, in those days, they didn't used to have asphalt road. There's oil sand road and pitch road. Proper good road in 1981, 82, around there, that I used to drive with my car. And now, tractor cannot pass.
Wait.
And that is under PNM. People who doing agriculture are seeing trouble for transport.
Kola,
so you take care.
Yes, man, and thank you very much for your support, your endorsement, and your contribution, Freeport. Love in the house.
Yeah, so you take care. Someday we'll meet up, don't worry.
Yes, man. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to touch on one more thing before I leave here this afternoon. And this year, it can't be my community alone that experiencing this. As much as we build in our nation and as much as Trinidad and Tobago have to go forward, the fact remains is that we find ourselves in the holiday period. And what does happen normally is people just be reaching out to the average businesses for support because, we have camps, we have different sporting activities. And I just want to bring up a conversation because I went a meeting the other night. And the information coming out from that meeting, it is so disturbing how our brothers and sisters who enter business, especially in Point Fortin, being affected by crime. And this is not a today problem. As I told people after the election, when people was asking Irvin how it looked like it have an upswing in crime, my conversation, and as I told them, which is the truth, that is not an upswing in crime. When other persons was representing, for some strange reason, the information never used to meet mainstream media. It are councillors where get robbing point. Home invasion, all the 9 yards took place. It just never made the news. That has been a normal activity. Today, the UNC government inherited, and on top of that, they say, there's no problem, we go fix it, we go solve the problem. My part is, we the people in society, especially those of us who reaching out for help, those who reaching out for support. Yes, you make children, but you ain't make them mine. But your responsibility must always be taken into consideration those who made investments, especially the businessman. Too many of our brothers and sisters in Point Fortin are doing business. It cannot be the same person we going by to ask for support. It's the same persons being robbed. And it is not Point Fortin alone that is experiencing those type of activities. If we expect the businessman and the businesswoman to play a part of society, well, then we, the people, must play a part. It needs to stop. You have no reason to be robbing bars because you don't know the contribution of the bar owner that that person does make when it's time to bring help. You have no reason to be robbing agro shops, breaking into people's places. No reason to be doing those things. If you don't have, you don't have. Your responsibility is to reach out for help. This is no longer a PNM run country. It is no longer that you look left and look right and there is no hope. Yes, the government find themselves in a position with the games that PNM is playing, but it have people in society. Just yesterday we proved it. That willing to cushion the blow. And we cannot expect those persons to help and the businesses being robbed. I'm asking my young people, I'm asking my young men and my young women, let we ease up on those criminal activities, please. We're not under the same structure. We don't have a minister of security who ignoring us. We don't have a government who ignoring us. Please, it cannot be the same persons who we expecting to help with sports, emancipation, it's on its way. Different businesses helps in and some people literally fed up. They're fed up. Because I can't continue helping, continue getting robbed, and then always the same people encouraging it. Because we can't continue voting the same thing and expecting a different result. So thank God the people of Point 4, thank God the people of Labrie, thank God the people of Trinidad and Tobago make an overwhelming decision to get rid of the PNM. Thank God. Oh gosh. Thank God. Only we now get some new members of the family. Some kittens. Thank God. Let's see. Thank God. Oh God. Well, let's see what's going on. Let's know the Felix family like dogs and cats and all kind of things. So we get some new members of the family. All bless God. All know we love your animals too. 3. Get 3 cats. But as I say, as I wrap up this afternoon, and I'm saying blessed good afternoon to the business community of Trinidad and Tobago as much as I'm saying good afternoon to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. I want to say no more kitten. Only let me stay focused and let's stay blessed. I pray that today's information reach you. I pray that you share it. If you haven't subscribed to our page yet, please do the relevant thing. So every time we come up, you get the relevant information. But you know the slogan here is each one help on a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. Being a good person is not an option. You see us here. Oh God. Being a good person is not an option. But going forward, we must be good. So again, brothers and sisters, as you navigate, you might find it being frustrated when you get up in the morning because you just mightn't know that is not 648 alone out and about. So in the morning, I want to encourage you. You're catching Andy Williams, the professor and the team with the ground report. We have breaking down out and about in the morning, please the Lord too. And then let me be real. We have our brother Anil Roberts with Douglas Politics. Again, by 12 o'clock, you know your boy Irvin is up between 12 and 2 with real talk, where we keep it real. We have real conversation as the day navigate. We have brothers like Builder Boys Construction and Opinion Box. Again, all I need to help me again with this conversation here because somebody tell me about David Welch. That we continue to talk about the relevant conversation. Our responsibility is to remind people because we can't think that everybody know. Everybody don't know. Because after this program, somebody might be looking just to crunch the tuition until 4 o'clock. Somebody just might be looking for our vibes until 4 o'clock. So we give in. And again, bless good afternoon, caller. Bless good afternoon, caller.
So in the house time.
How you
yeah,
do?
Dulan, who complain about this ID card? Short man, in birth or what? What? England and all this place with his yacht. Don't think
Kola, you break it up.
carry ID card with him. So if people talk about I can't, let's talk about ID card. They should ask them whenever they travel, do the car.
Kola, yes, sir. We'll call out tomorrow, please, Lord. Thank you for the call. I love you too bad. Kola, you played with them. But, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, family and friends, again, I want to encourage you as you navigate, pray for you and Alan. As we pray for each other, each and every one of us upon the live, we pray for our brothers and sisters, those with big business, those with small business. Also, WZYE 95.9. Remember, 7 p.m., Monday to Thursday, Sunday, 1 p.m. So you understand? This is where you're tuning in to get your relevant information. We are playing. And let we not play stupid too, because we have a responsibility to stay close to UNC main page, stay close to your Prime Minister page. Please stay close to your Member of Parliament page. The only thing is that we get harassed with is that we have some areas in Trinidad and Tobago. We can't confirm how PNM won it based on elections and boundaries. Slow delivery of results. But again, we asking the brothers and sisters who live in those zones, all of the rest of the country watching, the rest of the country listening. If you're endorsing, you're endorsing. Eventually, we go jumpstart. Eventually, we go start to take care of each other. You will be incorporated because we said when UNC win, everybody win. The only thing is, we're not encouraging our government to allow one person, not one, a foster common friends or foes, to skip the line in front of our brothers and sisters. We have full confidence in our government. We have full confidence in our ministers, our councillors, brothers and sisters. We have full confidence in the UNC and the coalition. Tobago, continue to big up on yourself. Again, it's all your boy Irvin. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Salvador, to be a gangster in prison. And is that. Ladies and gentlemen, I love you all. I thank you all for tuning in, for viewing, for listening with us. Once again, this has been our next episode of Real